we're going to be working on the G35 and we're going to try to replace the pigtails on the cam sensors. A couple of days ago, Chris was having a bunch of codes on the car and the car was running rough. We replaced one of the cam sensors. It took care of the problem, but while we were back there, we noticed that the pigtails were broken. We noticed that both bank 1 and bank 2, they were broken. So since we have to address this situation, I figured it would be a good time to record it and show you guys, just in case you were running into a similar problem. You can see how I do it and you could have an idea on how to repair it, and you guys can fix your VQ. Apparently this is a very common thing to happen for the cam sensors to go bad, but sometimes it could be more than just the cam sensor. It could be the wire, it could be the connector, it could be there's oil inside the pigtail, and that's what we discovered, that we had oil inside the pigtail, and I think that's why we were having a bad connection. But when we were back there, we noticed that they put silicone and they were holding the pigtail to the cam sensor. So of course we have to address that, and I have two brand new connectors right here. I got these off of Amazon. I'll put a link in the description just in case you need one of these. And yeah, so let's get going. In order to be able to access the pigtails, I could sort of maneuver my hands behind the intake manifold and address it, but in order to get to bank 2, which is on the driver's side, this side, I am gonna have to remove the intake manifold. So we're just gonna fast forward through that. If you don't know how to remove the intake manifold, this is not a video in how to show you how to remove an intake manifold on a VQ. This is a video in how to replace the pigtail on the cam sensor.
On the ground, you should make it pop. 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 On the ground, you should make it. On the ground, you should make it. On the ground, you should make it
go. Okay, everyone. So, yeah, I removed the upper part of the plenum, and now we have access to all of the wires, everything back here. So if you're ever wondering how hard is it to do one of these coolant heater core hoses, all you have to do is remove the upper plenum from the intake manifold, and there you have it. You have access to it. So right here I am illuminating one of the cam sensors, the pigtail. I'm gonna try to release it. Well, it's not being held by much, so usually you could push down on this clip back here. You just heard it pop. I'm gonna be replacing this side, bank 2 and bank 1. Bank 1 is all the way in this corner. I don't know if you could see from the angle of the camera, and I have the GoPro hanging over the car, hoping that you can see. So let me readjust the camera and we'll continue. Okay, so we're gonna start with this one here. Here's the pigtail, here's the new one, this is the old one, and you can see these are not color coordinated. So what I would advise you to do if you run into this situation is just line up the pigtail just like this. Start with the one the furthest to the left, or start with the one to the furthest to the right. It doesn't matter which one you start first, and do one of these at a time. Connect one wire at a time. Start with one side, make your way to the center, and then finish it at the other end, and you won't have a problem. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna try to show you this in this little confined area here. So right now I'm gonna expose the wires here. I'm gonna take off this protective coating. It's really brittle actually. So right here we can see we have 3 wires. So Just like I explained just a second ago, I'm just gonna start with the one the furthest to the left. So it's gonna be this black one. And then I'm gonna make sure they line up and connect one by one, solder them, and let them go. Alright, so we have the pigtail replaced now, and I could plug it in. You can see the difference here. It looks like even the white part right here, that guard, that was broken. I hadn't realized that just until now. So I have a little bit of this wire loom, and I'm gonna put it here. And I'm gonna try to protect this wire the best I can. Okay, so we got the easy one out of the way, and now we're gonna go to this side right here. This bank is gonna give us a little bit more of a fight, and that's simply because there is no space here. So we're just gonna peel back this wire loom here. Maybe we'll release it from here and try to make this work. Now, if you're wondering what type of wire strippers am I using, I'm using this Blue Point wire stripper. It's very nice because it lets you get in a very tight spot, like what we have right here, where you don't have much room for tugging and pulling with the traditional wire strippers. This is very nice. You just insert the wire here. It even has a little holder, so you could set the gauge on how much of it you want it stripped, and you just simply place the wire inside. Let me grab a wire. So basically you just set the wire in here, and like I said, you could put this further back so you could strip more of it or less of it, and you just set it in there and you lock her down and she does all the work for you. Look at that, perfect strip every time. Works very nice. I believe these comes in different brands now. Okay, so that wasn't so bad at all. So now it's time to put the upper half of the plenum, and it's time to bolt everything down. If you notice here, I have a fairly new gasket here, and it's because we replaced a knock sensor not too long ago, and this gasket, it's still in good shape. In the situation that you haven't replaced this gasket in a while, more than likely you're going to have to do this. I'm also going to torque everything down to specs. I'm going to do the torque sequence that it requires to bolt down the upper half, and I suggest you do the same thing because it is very critical to seal the upper, this is the upper half. It's very critical to seal it properly. Take your time, torque it down, and you only have to do it once if you do it right.